Hello, friends, and welcome to day 14 of Fun with Cheese. It's going to be kind of fun getting to meet with you guys every night, and just wanted to let you know that I'm enjoying this, and hopefully, you're learning a little bit every night. And this is my chance to get back into the classroom, um, even if I'm not there to be there with you guys. Um, Today at day 14 is the day we single you out. You'll find out what that means later. Our shout outs today go to Swiderski Implement, Cropping Central, Pioneer Seed, who are sponsors of our Youth Agronomy Day that we host every fall up in Edgar, or in between Edgar and Mosinee. And it's kind of a cool event, and we have a lot of agronomists sit down and talk about what we do in the field and precision planting and things like that, and really appreciate them taking their time out of their day and to sit down with kids and share their passion for what they do out in the field. And as spring's rolling around here, we're going to see a lot more equipment in the fields and seed go in the ground and see the fruits of their labor. So I hope you had a chance to look at your butter and your milk products from last night. Look for that number 55. If you're in Minnesota, you're looking for a 27. If you are in Colorado, you're looking for the number 8 for the first two numbers that you look out for. But make sure you check out on those and see what state your milk is coming from. Kind of a neat little code there from our code breaker segment yesterday. So today we're looking at we're going back in history a little bit again. 1947, there's a company called Kraft. Okay, Kraft had come up with a new product called the processed cheese, and processed cheese is it's a real cheese that is blended with other flavors, has things added in, such as you can add peppers, you could add spices, you could add all kinds of fun things. But the main things were cheese, coloring, some dairy byproducts, and then some emulsifiers. Now, emulsifiers, that's kind of a weird word. What the heck are they doing? So I figured I'd bring a couple examples in to show you. Emulsifiers allow for a product that we can take a fat, and we take that fat, and we think of a fat as a big ball, and we're going to break that ball into a million different pieces. And you think about milk that comes from the bulk tank, although many of you probably have not seen milk from a bulk tank, but if you let it sit idle, all that fat rises to the top, the cream rises to the top. And so we do a process called homogenization, which busts those fat globules apart and leave them in suspension, so they stay in a homogeneous mixture, and you can leave your milk in the fridge for a week and it does not separate out. So the emulsifiers, when we take these different cheeses and blend them together and add heat to them, you notice if you take a real cheese and you add heat to it when you're making a grilled cheese, you'll see a lot of oils spill out the side and things like that. You won't see that with a processed cheese. And emulsifiers are really cool things. They take two things that generally don't want to be together, and by the process of heat and with some mixing, we can get those things to bind together, so that way those fats will not disperse apart. Sorry, I'm using my hands, but this is the best way I can explain this. One of the most common emulsified products that you might have in your refrigerator is mayonnaise. I know this says Miracle Whip, and apparently there's a big difference between Miracle Whip and mayonnaise, but right now I'm doing this. So we're going to take oil, and we're going to take lemon juice, and we're going to take some egg yolks and some mustard, and we're going to blend them together at high speed and heat. And then we are going to add the oil very slowly, and then we are going to create an emulsion, which then we call mayonnaise. So I have a special guest that I'm going to bring in here today. This is Madison. You remember her from Taco Tuesday about 6 days ago. She had Taco Kitty.
My opinion, Miracle Whip, better.
So she wanted to put her 2 cents in here, but she brought Taco Kitty in last Tuesday, and we were glad to have her. The other emulsification you might have in your refrigerator is something called bologna. And bologna, or hot dogs, it's just a different casing, is where we take different meat products and we blend them together, and we chop it at a very high speed, and we add other fats, and we add our spices and things like that, and we get it to a certain temperature. And by getting it to that temperature, then we get those fats to then emulsify and be dispersed in that meat. So if you ever took a hot dog and you boiled it, or you take bologna and you try and cook it, you won't see the fats boil out of it like you would in a brat or something like that, because it's not an emulsified product. So these are all emulsified products, and so is our cheese. So what's the benefit of a processed cheese? You ever take a processed cheese, put it in grilled cheese, put it on the grill? It melts. It's all about meltability with processed cheese. It does not fall apart. It doesn't disintegrate. It's a really cool product. The real hero today that we're talking about is not in the Kraft family, but over in a company by Green Bay called Schreiber Cheese. One of the sons of the founders was an engineer, and in 1967, Kraft had cornered the market in processed cheese slices. Now, those are the ones where you stack them all together and they're kind of offset and you peel it off. 90% chance that you're finding a processed cheese product on your hamburgers if you're eating out in a chain or something like that. But Mr. Robert Bush in 1967 thought of this and took this liquefied cheese, and he said, you know what? We could make this really convenient. Schreiber Cheese was the original company who said that they patented the idea of putting 16 ounces of cheese to a pound. Now, before that, there was no chance of them. You might get 15 ounces, you might get 17 ounces, but they put scales in there to make sure that the cheese was actually the right weight. So innovative ideas is nothing new to Schreiber, and having Mr. Bush on hand, who was the son of one of the founders, had an idea. What if we were to take that hot cheese and inject it into a bag and then squish that bag so that way we could get that product to flatten out, seal it as it was heated, and then we would have a sterile process or sterile product in a hygienic container that could have a long shelf life and would be very convenient for families and homes and people who are cooking. So Mr. Schreiber patented this idea, and it became industry standard. My father-in-law worked at Land O'Lakes for over 40 years, and he said this is one of the most amazing machines, this speed and efficiency that this thing would kick out singles as it would go along. Their machine actually came from Italy, and so they had to do some patent altering on it so that it wasn't infringing on Mr. Bush's patent that he originally had in 1967. But this is a really cool product that we find on our shelves today, and we have Mr. Bush of Schreiber Foods to thank for it. One final tip with our processed cheese individually wrapped slice. One must take off this wrapper before one puts it onto a grilled cheese sandwich, because this plastic does not disintegrate, and it will just have hot cheese in the center if you put it on the sandwich. So you want to make sure that you remove this plastic from this cheese before you put it onto the sandwich and make the grilled cheese. Just a little word for the wise, and hopefully that you're having a great day and you'll enjoy your cheese. Remember, the word today is emulsified, not a bad word. Allows for fats to stay in suspension and allows for our cheese to have ultimate meltability and to take two different products and put them together with the addition of a special ingredient. Hopefully you have a great day. Oh, I forgot one more shout out here. This, I know you're saying, why is he wearing a John Deere hat with Swiderski? Because these guys are generally New Holland, Blue Tractor. They don't make fleece. This thing is called a neck warmer or a gaiter. Once again, my hair is not doing very well here. I like to wear it as a hat, but this is made by my mom, Marilyn Canoyer. She does not take orders for these, but these are family heirlooms that we have in many different sizes, shapes, and patterns. But remember, cheese is milk step into immortality. Have a great day, and we'll see you on day 15.